Hey guys, this is Charlie from Digitsu. When we talk about Jiu-Jitsu, we oftentimes talk about the superstars of Jiu-Jitsu. However, we neglect to talk about the unsung heroes. So today is a special shout out to one particular unsung hero, Carl Pravik, the owner of Fox Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu in Saddlebrook, New Jersey. Carl is secondary black belt under Renzo Gracie and is a great instructor, and I hope one day you guys can get a chance to go learn from him. First, I want to give a shout out to Hold Fast Fight Gear for hooking me up this awesome gi. The gi that I'm wearing right now is called a Hosha. It's a competition cut, lightweight pearl weave kimono ripstop pants. It's got an EVA foam lapel so it's hard for your opponent to grab. And also it's double stitched for reinforcement in stress areas, so it makes a great gi for pulling and grabbing. So if you like this gi, go on holdfastfightgear.com to pick one up for yourself. And also, don't forget about the Tankino DVD that's out on Digitsu.com. At the end of this segment, after everything's said and done, we have a short preview of the DVD for you. So enjoy the interview with Carl. I'll talk to you soon.
Welcome to my academy, Fox BJJ, Team Renzo Gracie, in Saddlebrook, Northern New Jersey. Come on in. Let's give you a quick tour. This is the facility. It's a 3,000 square foot facility. It's basically a big box, big mat, 2 small locker rooms with showers. And we have primarily focused on Renzo Gracie style of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. We have adult Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, both fundamental and advanced. We have MMA kickboxing, and we also have youth Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And this is the place.
So how did you get your start in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu?
Back in the early 90s, in 1991 as a matter of fact, I was training stand-up. And me and a couple of buddies, we were sparring a lot, and we also were experimenting with a lot of different styles. We used to go to a lot of different seminars, Superfoot Wallace, Jeet Kune Do, grappling seminars, and one of my regular training partners showed me a tape of Gracie's in action. I said, check this out, it's pretty cool, pretty interesting. So I watched the tape. A couple months later, he says, hey, listen, they're coming to New Jersey. They're going to do a seminar. Let's go. So we went to the seminar for, it was a whole weekend seminar, and everybody was there. Horian was there, Hoyler, Hickson, Elio, and that was my first exposure, hands-on, to Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And it was amazing. Kind of felt like a fish out of water. And I started, we started whatever we picked up, which was not, one weekend is not a whole lot, but you start to incorporate into our training. And then a year later, 92, they came back again for another seminar, weekend long. And then 93, I started to train regularly. At the time I was training only Jiu-Jitsu once a week, and stand-up was my main thing, and this was sort of a supplement. And then over time, I realized how technical, involved, and intricate Jiu-Jitsu was, and I decided this is the main thing, and stand-up is my supplement.
So at the seminar with all these Gracie legends, did you feel that Gracie aura?
Yeah. It was something different. Obviously, they came in very friendly guys. Everybody's like, oh wow, this is pretty cool and everything. At the end of the seminar, they roll with everybody at the seminar, and it was amazing. It was eye-opening, and it was sort of like, okay, you feel like a baby, and there's no matter which way you went, you just wound up getting caught. I remember they put Elio on top of this guy who was a big wrestler. He was about 230. They put him, he was just mounted on top of him, and they said, get rid of him. And the guy was like a wild horse, arching, and he just rode him. And we were like, everybody was obviously amazed. And, some of us said, this is what we want to do. We got to get more of this. But it did not become available in New Jersey on a regular basis till 1993.
So who did you train with in 1993?
I started out with Craig Kukuk, and he teamed up with Renzo to do the tapes, and Renzo would travel from Brazil to do seminars and teach for a month. I believe that was in 1994, and once Renzo came in 1994, I've been with Renzo ever since.
Started Jiu-Jitsu when it's relatively unknown in the United States, and a lot of people would come and do the Gracie challenges, challenging the effectiveness of the art. Are there any old school stories from the Renzo Gracie days that you would love to share with us?
Yeah, for sure. I think a lot of the guys, like a lot of the old school guys, I know Metzar would recognize his name, and a lot of the old guys would too. Tommy Caruso. I believe he was like the first purple belt that Renzo, or in this area in New Jersey, and the guy was 150 pounds soaking wet, and he was sort of the first enforcer, so to speak, because before when a guy come in, he wouldn't necessarily not go with Renzo or Kukuk or one of those guys. He would just say, why don't you try this little guy over here? And I still remember to this day, it was a guy that came in, was well over 200 pounds, put on a white belt, and basically it was full bore. No gloves, no nothing. Hey, just go, let's see what you can do. Every time Tommy just shot in, took him down, submitted him. Came in, took him down, submitted him. He took a couple of shots, but none of them were big enough to either knock him out or slow him down to the point where he could not handle this guy. The funniest part was, this guy actually signed up right away that same day. They said, well, so you're not a white belt? He said, no, I've been training, whatever style for 12 years. I'm third degree this. So he signs up, and he's there about 2 weeks, and then he's gone. Never came back. This is where, you train for a couple months, you'd get the better of the guy that just started. Back then, everybody jumped in, trained right off the bat, rolling full bore, and he couldn't handle the fact that nobody called him sir, and everyone was getting the better of him, even the little guys. Yeah.
Besides getting your black belt, what is your fondest memory of your jiu-jitsu career?
It's funny. Actually, there's a lot of them. It's sort of, I look at jiu-jitsu, it's not like sort of a couple big milestones. I look at jiu-jitsu as a journey where you hopefully look around and you smell the flowers and you see the big tree and the river and the trout jumping out of the water, and appreciate all those moments. There's a lot of things that are very, I'm very proud of. One of my students in 2009 took second place in ADCC in Barcelona. That's one of them. When my guys first, fought MMA and submitted the guys in the first round, that's another one of them. My daughter finally last year started training jiu-jitsu after many, and not only that, but she's getting good. Even Renzo said, oh, she's getting good. When my students do well in a tournament or in life, one of the things that I really appreciate is when you can see a guy that comes in and is not that sort of confident or you can kind of see that he needs something in his life, and a year or two later he's doing some amazing things on the mats, walking around broad shoulders, and the confidence, you really can't help but feel proud.
You've known Renzo for a very, very long time now, and he has some wild stories. Which one's your favorite?
I'm going to go off script on this one because everybody wants to maybe hear like some really, crazy story. I'm going to go with something a little more inspirational. What Renzo inspired me. Renzo, from day one, ever since I've met him, he doesn't care who he fights, when he fights him. You put a fight in front of him, he'll fight. And, it inspires people. I think Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is the only martial arts style that I'm aware of where you can fight in an absolute division. And Renzo doesn't care about, weight and so forth. To me, obviously if you have about the same skill level, weight does make a difference. But if the skill level is different, I don't care whether you're 50 or 100 pounds heavier. I really don't. And kind of the ways Renzo approaches jiu-jitsu, that you should be able to take care of yourself, even when the guy's a lot bigger and skilled, inspired me to, I've competed in a lot of, adult divisions and absolute divisions and mundials as well, because, it may not go my way, but I believe in my jiu-jitsu enough that I know that I can at least take care of myself. And that's, to me, I think that's probably my favorite thing about, Renzo.
Renzo had that aura about it. Back in the old days, he treated all of us like a hard-nosed instructor, but at the end of the day, he still cared for us, just like pretty much like a father figure.
One other thing that most people don't realize, he will treat everybody like a king. A guy that cleans the toilet, Renzo will treat him like a king, and that's a true mark, I think, of a man. If you treat people everybody with respect, and that's Renzo. All right, guys, when I play guard, I want to have an aggressive, submissions-oriented guard. However, when you're dealing with a high-level guy, a lot of people know they can squash the initial attack. So I always try to make my initial attack a good technical, to the point where it's either on, or if it's not, they only have one way to escape. And then I chase them down with their escape, all right? One of the things that I do, when the guy passes guard, I sit up, get a bolt cutter grip on their arm. It has to be tight to the chest, so he cannot swim his arm out. At this point, I'll put both feet on the hips and stretch the guy out, all right? I try to push him away so I can sit up, so I have a lot of space here for a submission, okay? Now, assuming that Joe was actually faster than I was, or better than I was, and it was able to start turning away, I'll either switch into an omoplata finish, or an inverted arm lock. Guys, when I play guard, I have a very active attacking guard. All right, what I'm looking for is to misalign and break his posture. One of the things that I do is when the guy's elbows flare out just a little bit, I go in deep, right away switch my hands to bolt cutter grip, and then bring the guy down. At this point, I start to stretch him out and stretch out his arm. I will actually sit up to make sure I have enough room here, just in case if you're really flexible, and bring the pressure down, okay? Now, one of the most important things is when you're dealing with the high-level guys, a lot of times, if they kind of read this and turn before I have a chance to submit them, what I'll do is I either switch into an omoplata position or inverted arm lock.